So the start of the race, always a big feature of these 2026 races. Kimi Antonelli on pole once again, but once again getting a bad start. Now this one, as we play it through, is not his worst by any stretch this year. There's not a huge amount that he does wrong, but he just gets a little bit too much wheel spin, small details going missing. And we know the Ferrari starts are good. We know the McLaren starts are good. And actually, Verstappen gets one of his best starts of the year as well. So if I pause it here, you've got now Antonelli getting swamped, but look further back, you've also got Russell here in a little bit of trouble with the other McLaren and the other Ferrari. So both Mercedes this time in unison getting a little bit done. Verstappen, though, unlike Antonelli, is going to make the driver behind him work a lot. So let's have a look through here. You've got Max going for the inside, suddenly sees Lando coming through and is quite aggressive, chopping to the inside line. Charles Leclerc, meanwhile, has a great run around the outside. Good start from the Ferrari, and Antonelli momentarily looks like he's going to rear-end him. Verstappen goes in deep. You've got the two McLarens fighting hard as well, and Leclerc does a really decent start here to get the up and under on the exit. Verstappen's still fighting him, and as we play it through here, Max is going to lose the rear of the car as they're fighting in towards turn two, and Charles comes through. Antonelli's on the inside. You've got the McLarens now line astern, but Lewis Hamilton is the driver here that's going to lose out the most because, as you can see, his trajectory is pretty bad, heading straight towards a spinning Max. Don't know if he's going to go left, don't know if he's going to go right. Those on this line have a little bit more margin, whereas Lewis just has to check up a little bit, and it's going to cost him multiple places as he gets off the gas, then cuts through the corner. Gasly behind is going to lose out as well. And you've now got George Russell and then Franco Colapinto, importantly for Lewis, coming through. So disappointing for him. Good save in the end from Verstappen, but ultimately that's the race lead chance gone and any chance of a podium really gone for Max as well. Let's have a look at it then on board. Charles Leclerc, great start. And once again, Ferrari have got a great knack of being able to bog the car down, but drive through it. And that's what you need to get these cars off the line. So much power, great use from Leclerc. So he cuts towards the inside. That's what means Antonelli's pretty close to rearing and ending him. Verstappen comes in hot on the inside. Leclerc does the sensible thing, waves him past. And now look at Charles on the exit here. The traction is so difficult. The start of the race, medium tyres, loads of torque with these new power units as well, and a bit less downforce than last year. Shorter wheelbase. All of it means the cars are a little bit twitchy. So if you see Leclerc getting on the gas, he takes a short shift and he's fighting the wheel already, just catching the rear end going away. So he has one here. Nice save, trying to get on the gas. And as he's getting in towards this left-hander, he's actually turning to the right because he's on the limit once again on that rear axle, on the traction. Then he comes through, and it's okay. Into the race lead, thank you very much. Well executed. The Ferrari's good start's working once again. Now let's have a look at it with Max. So he gets initially off the line, has a look in the mirror. Oh no, there's Lando coming on the inside. So we're going to nail it over towards that white line. Just about okay from Verstappen. He's now coming in really tight. So he locks up, and it's pretty green on the inside of that circuit as well, not rubbered in on a temporary track. We get a similar thing here for Max if we wind it back now. So he's desperate to hold that inside line in towards turn two. He's super aggressive all race, and it starts with the first couple of corners. So he's also now jockeying the wheel on the limit of traction. These cars, once again, the power delivery, the torque is so huge with the 50% electrical power that this first phase is difficult to manage. And what it means here is that he's just fighting the car. And as soon as he starts turning in now to turn two, the rear wheels are already chattering. They're searching for grip. You put a little bit of lateral. It was just a tiny little bit of turn in, and it's enough now for him to lose it. Absolutely hammers on the opposite lock, and round he goes. Next thing is the save. So some questions as to whether this is luck or judgment. I believe this is pure judgment from Max. We've seen it time and time again for him. So we've got the opposite lock on. He gives it a welly of throttle. Maybe just a bit of frustration, a bit of hope that it will come back. But look at the way he handles this now. We're spinning around, wheels are turning, so he's off the brakes, getting the clutch, making sure he's not in an anti-stall. Now he pumps the brakes. So now he's on the brakes, locking those front tyres up. But look at the way when he then gets to the right point here, he releases the brakes. He releases the steering, and it all comes back to him. And he's in now a position with the brakes released, the car grips up, and away he goes. It's skill that Verstappen manages to save this. Yes, the race leader's gone, but he's still there fighting with the big guns, still there with Lewis Hamilton. A few more come past. it could have been a lot worse for Verstappen, and it was good avoidance from those behind as well. Lando Norris then, let's finally have a look at him, because this is the man that's going to get a bit of a chop down towards the first corner. Harsh, but fair, I think, from Max. No complaints here from Lando. So he's going to have a great view of the chaos ahead. Sees Kimi on his left. He knows, of course, this position pretty well from last year. 2 out wide. Last year it was Oscar in his position. He snuck through to take an eventual race win. For Lando here, he's cautious because he can see now Max is going to lose the car. And he backs off quite a lot through this part. Normally, he'd be drilling Kimi here because Kimi's got to bounce over that curb. He's on a tight line. It's going to be momentum for Norris. But he has to be cautious because, once again, a little bit like I said for Hamilton, you don't know which way Max is going to spin at this stage. So Lando has to make sure he's to the left-hand side, and then he's cautious as the Red Bull's pirouetting back to the right way around. And it saves Antonelli's bacon now up in second place. But a good start from Norris, and that is your top 3 then for the start of the race. I referenced the start from last year. The similarities are really, really close between Verstappen in 25 and Verstappen in 26. Let's have a look at it then. Both fighting for a race lead, different outcomes. And there is a small couple of reasons why. So we get to the corner. And at this point, it's kind of similar, although in 26, it's actually a bigger lunge for Max down the inside. In both of them, he's locked up and on the limiter brakes and washing wide. So Antonelli's going to disappear around the outside in 26. Now you get this position, 2025, Lando and Max. And Lando's not quite alongside him at this point, as they turn in towards turn 2. So Max is still fractionally ahead, and Lando has the momentum and the overspeed. If you look in 2026, it's a marginal difference, but Charles just has his car ahead. The second thing, that's the bigger thing here, is where the limit of grip is. So last year for Max in 2025, more downforce on the cars, less electrical power, better traction, it all means. You can barrel speed in, you're going to pick up a bit of understeer and wash wide, and you're front limited. In 26, he's rear limited with all the changes to the cars. So a similar position, similar concept. What he wants to do on the right-hand side is barrel speed in to the inside of Charles and force him wide exactly in the same way as he did to Lando in 25. But the difference is the cars have changed, the downforce isn't there. He's already struggling on the rear, and round he goes in 2026. So subtleties. One time it worked, the next time it didn't, and he was spinning through the pack. Before we pick up the race with the leaders and the podium places, let's have a look at a few of the early incidents. So I mentioned the importance of Lewis Hamilton losing out to Franco Colapinto with the Verstappen spin, and they have an incident down at turn 11. So you got Franco here defending from Lewis at this part here. Reasonable defensive shape from Franco, ushering Lewis to the outside line. Franco's in a decent position as well, managed to keep his car ahead at the time they get towards an apex. That really entitles him to the space, according to the racing guidelines, to kind of force Lewis off the road on the exit. And that is exactly what happened. So Lewis just hopeful at this stage that he's going to be left space, because then he'll have the inside for turn 12, the right-hander. But Franco ushers him wide, and there's a little bit of contact there as well, which we can see more clearly when we hop on board with the Ferrari man. Here we go. Nice bit of closing speed towards the end, late braking, and it's just an opportunistic look here from Hamilton, who knows he wants to clear the Alpine because he wants to get racing with the other main contenders. Not the easiest weekend for Lewis. But at this point, he's kind of lost the corner in terms of the racing guidelines. Now, sometimes you can be given room. Sometimes it can work, but not with Franco on this day. So Lewis now is going to be run out of room. You have to back off. You have to just check up. And he keeps turning towards Franco. There's the contact. So a little bit of the front floor edge is gone for Hamilton. That's what's flying up. A little bit of damage as well for Colapinto. And that will derail the rest of Hamilton's race. Managed to still take some good points. But that damage meant he wasn't a factor further ahead in the rest of the race and was just limping around between Colapinto and the front of the field. And really, I think he's probably got himself to blame for that one. Colapinto was within his right to drive as he did. But you can see what he was trying to do, Hamilton, because we had a similar move from Oscar Piastri on George Russell. Exactly the same intent here. This was on the safety car restart. So you've got Piastri here trying to clear Russell. This is at turn 1, but it's the same style of move. So Oscar going around the outside. George is ahead at the apex. Once again, a little bit like Franco at turn 11. George is now technically entitled to basically drive Oscar off the road, but he's a bit kind. And he was a bit kind all the way through the Miami weekend, to be honest, George Russell. not racing massively hardly. And it meant that Oscar then, a little bit like Lewis was hoping to do, had the inside line for turn 2 and made the pass stick there. So that's what Hamilton was hoping. In my racing ideal, I think drivers would be afforded room. I think Hamilton could have been there, and I don't like seeing people forced off the road, but that's how the racing guidelines work, and that's why Franco didn't get a penalty, and they both just lost out a bit of damage, but both scored points still. Couple more incidents then, and both at the same time, and that's what brought out the safety car early on. First of all, Isaac Hadjar in towards the chicane at turns 14 and 15. Heads into the corner, and he's on quite a shallow line here, Isaac. Going quite quickly, chasing the Haas, carrying more speed, trying to work his way through from the pit lane. But it's a simple street circuit style crash, really. Every inch you get closer to the barriers, every millimetre you get closer, you open up the corner, and it's the best way to carry more speed through. But on this lap, he's just clearly opened it up too much. He's chanced his arm, and his steering arm has broken. So Hadjar out of the race, and luckily his hand's not broken, with 90 seconds worth of pounding the steering wheel, his helmet, the halo, and everything else he could get his mitts on. You can see the difference here, lap 5 to lap 6. And once again, on the left-hand side, you can see Hadjar's pretty aggressive through this corner compared to Arvid Lindblad, who he's ahead of. You see that the earlier turn-in from Isaac will allow him to carry more speed, but he takes a lot more risk on the left-hand side as well with this barrier. It's a concrete wall. It doesn't give. And on the left-hand side, you can see the difference. A little bit more steering lock, more speed. Now he's cleared the racing bulls as well. And that's the difference. But an inherent shallow line here from Hadjar allows him to carry entry speed. But there's the risk. One lap, you get away with it. He cleared Lindblad on the next one. But before he got back round to turn 14, he's in the barrier. At the same time as he did that, the other Racing Bulls car was in the wars. This was Liam Lawson and Pierre Gasly down at turn 17. Looks dramatic. Lawson locked up, clips the back of Gasly. Gasly goes flipping. They're both out of the race. But this is the definition of an unlucky accident for me. Lawson, checking the mirrors, defending, does nothing wrong at this point. But as he's going down the gears, he has a gearbox issue. So his car just jumps into an anti-stall. And you can see that with the way now that the shift lights are all illuminated. You can hear it as well when he just loses gears. So if we play it through, it just pops into neutral, effectively. It's a false neutral to protect the gearbox. And what it means is Liam's got no engine braking on the car. So you can just hear the revs die. And you need that to help decelerate the car, to get into an apex. And there's nothing really that Pierre's done wrong. There's actually nothing that Liam's done wrong here. It's just an unlucky moment for him to have that gearbox issue as he's banging down the gears and going wheel to wheel. So he understeers wide and hits Pierre into a roll. But yeah, again, just unlucky for Lawson, and that's his retirement. You can still see in an anti-stall, no drive, but he'll just about coax it back towards the pits and be out of the race. Gasly then round the outside, trying to fight back with Alex Albon ahead. This would have been good points for Pierre. Leaves a load of space on the inside. That's what Liam was aiming for when he hit the brakes. But again, just not getting that engine braking means he understeers wide. And that's Pierre Gasly on his head. And an unlucky way for him to end his point-scoring streak.
I just went into the last corner, and when I braked, lost the gearbox, and I went to neutral. So I basically had no gears, and I couldn't stop. So it's not something I've had before. Obviously, it's quite a big issue for us, and it's what meant we had to retire the car. But it's a shame because it's obviously taken out Pierre as well.
Should not happen, but I'm more disappointed not to get the points for the team on a weekend where we clearly deserve some, and it wasn't pleasant inside the car, and I think it could have been avoided. So it's just a bit annoying.